As Joshua da Silva stood in despair after being out caught at forward short leg, my spirit sank, not because West Indies was going through another of those now familiar collapse, but I know the captain of the West Indies A team was in pain. I clasped my hands behind my head and stared at the ceiling, and I wondered what can be done to help Joshua da Silva. And as I thought about it, there was a wry smile across my face. Because knowing that this young man was hurting so much, I was deeply concerned for the pain that he was feeling. And so I said to myself, the conclusion, the answer that I came up with to help Joshua da Silva, it will never happen. And so I laughed. That answer was to employ me as his batting coach. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Before I go to the show, though, I just want to say a few words with you, reminding you that at this time of the year is the highest time for money transfer. So if you are getting money from someone from the USA, or you are in the USA transferring money, Western Union is your preferred choice. The link is in the video description. Click on that link and you will not have to leave your home to transfer the money. So just below the video, there's a link for Western Union in the video description. Click on that link and transfer your money from the comfort of wherever you may be, probably even on the beach. Check it out. Now, West Indies won the toss yesterday on the first day of the 4-day test match between West Indies A and Australia A. Not Australia, and South Africa A. West Indies A playing 11 is there on the screen. They made 2 changes to the team that won the first match. South Africa playing 11 was led by their captain, Neil Brand. Now, South Africa A was bowled out this morning. I don't know why Australia is on my mind. Probably because the West Indies next tour will be of Australia. Now, South Africa were bowled out this morning for 298. Tonga made 50 after being dropped yesterday when he was on 5. He went on to make 50. Kevin Pietersen made 67. There were 2 batsmen for South Africa that made 40s. One made 42, one made 44. Also, there was another batsman that made 35. But those names doesn't get recognized on this channel. If you do not pass 50, you don't get recognized. Bowling for the West Indies was a very impressive Akeem Jordan, who took 3 for 43. And even more impressive, Shamar Joseph, who took 3 for 57. They got the two of the 4 remaining wickets this morning. As you know, South Africa A resumed on 266 for 6. They got 2 of the wickets. So it was good from the West Indies A to wrap up the South African A innings, getting those last 4 wickets for a mere 32 runs. When West Indies A batted, they folded from 104 for 2 to be bowled out for 154. It was another batting collapse from the West Indies team. I remember last week when we won that match and we're celebrating, and when we won the A match at the start of this week on Monday and we were celebrating, there were some persons who wanted us to temper our celebration. But this is the exact reason why we do not temper celebration. Because when we are in this difficult position as we are now, we cannot celebrate. So we have to celebrate when we are winning. So only Zachary McCaskey with 62 made any worthwhile contribution in the West Indies innings. Pete took 5 for 28 and Muricky took 3 for 65 as West Indies collapsed from 104 for 2 to be bowled out for 154, losing 8 wickets for a mere 50 runs. When South Africa A batted a second time, they were 65 for 1, with Kevin Sinclair getting the wicket that was fallen. So that's the score there now. South Africa 298 all out and 65 for 1. West Indies 154. There are 2 dismissals that I want to look at this morning. Now, I could have gone through all of those dismissals, but it will take all day to prepare all the dismissals. But there are 2. One of those dismissals that I want to look at is the captain, the dismissal of the captain, that is Joshua Da Silva. Now, look at Joshua Da Silva right there. I want you to look at his head position in relation to where the ball is. That means if you look at it carefully, you will see that the ball is inside the line of his head position. Now look also at his back foot, that is right foot. Look how it is collapsing. These are things that can be worked on. Look at that back foot collapsing. And also, the next thing that I want you to look at now, again, is head position. Look at the peak. Look at the peak of his helmet. Joshua Da Silva clearly is not watching the ball close enough. Because instead of seeing the face of Joshua Da Silva, we should be seeing more of the West Indies logo on the top of the helmet. The peak of the helmet should almost pointing to the pitch instead of towards the umpire. That simply tells me that Joshua Da Silva is not watching the ball close enough, and that is why his head is outside the line of the ball. That is why his back foot is collapsing. All of those. And this even more clearly demonstrated. Look how quickly that bat turned, and look at Da Silva face. Look at the fielder forward short leg who is going to take the catch. The ball is nowhere near him. But Da Silva, because he's not watching the ball close enough, he's not watching the ball off the pitch, and he's just assuming a era where he thinks that the ball is in, his head slapped around rapidly to forward short leg. That bat, if you look at the first picture, you see how close the bat is? If Da Silva was watching the ball, the bat would not have turned and the ball go to forward short leg. Now, these are things that the West Indies A captain can work on. So that's one of the first dismissal that I want to look at. The next dismissal that I want to look at was when West Indies were 104 for 2. And that is the dismissal of Kaveem Hodge. And this, again, it is shocking. The first thing, look at this picture here from Kaveem Hodge. There's 2 pictures there, one on the left, one on the right. The first, look where the off stump is. Look at the left, you can see the off stump. You see the off stump on the left here, this picture here on the left. And then look at his head position. It's in line with the off stump. That's good. But look now, look at this position here now. Look where his head is now. It is outside the line of the off stump. And everyone who teaches persons to bat, or every batsman, especially at the international level, knows that once you shift your head, you are in trouble. You are no longer in control of your body movement. So that is the first one, is head position. The second one I want you to look at, it is his bat position. The one on the left, look where the ball is and look where his bat is. So that's the one on the left, where the ball is and where his bat is. So the bowler just delivered the ball. He gave it some flight. Look where Kavim Hodge bat is. Now look at the one on your right. As the ball travels towards him, look where the bat is. The bat is going backward instead of coming forward to meet the ball, to go through the line of the ball. So that is number 2. He doesn't have a backlift. And we all know how important backlift is. You cannot be carrying the bat backward when the ball is on its way to you. And that clearly shows that he does not have a backlift. Now look at his left foot now. The picture on the right, his left foot is outside the leg stump. But look now, the picture on the left, his left foot is outside the leg stump. But now on the right, look at his left foot. His left foot is coming forward, but look at his right leg collapsing. Although his left foot is coming forward, his weight is going backward. You got it? His weight is going backward. And there's why there's such a big gap between bat and pad. So the left foot coming forward, but the right foot collapsing and the weight going backward. So it is no surprise that he leaves such a big gap between bat and pad. You see there's such a big gap. And that is why he was late also in the shot. He was late also in the shot. So being out ball between bat and pad in this match, and in the previous match, he was out bowled driving at one wide outside the off stump. These things can be worked on. Kavim Hodge needs to allow the ball to come to him some more. He needs to work on his backlift. He needs to work on his balance. In the case of Joshua Da Silva, that issue can be solved easily if Joshua Da Silva is prepared to work on it. There are so many ways you can go about it. Sometimes we talk about facilities, but even if there's no facility, one of the easiest way to watch the ball is to tie up a socks in a tree or something with a ball in it and get the ball as closely as possible to the ground where it can swing and try and hit that ball and let it come back straight to you. If you are not watching the ball with nice, straight, high elbow, it will not come back straight to you. So that's a simple thing that Joshua Da Silva may do if he wishes to work on his batting. So these are just two of the batsmen on their dismissal that I was just wanted to highlight. But once again, West Indies collapsed from a promising position of 104 for 2 to be bowled out for 154 with another middle order collapse. Hello everyone, I'm glad that you are here. Please flash a like on the video, click on the subscribe button, and remember the link in the video description where if you are transferring money from the US this December, this Christmas season, you can do so by clicking on that link from the comfort of your home. So anywhere in the world you are, if someone is sending money to you from the USA, share that link with them and they may use it. Sherwin, good afternoon, welcome. Lou Pruden, Mr. Brown, what was the West Indies score? 154 all out. What pain. He was, of course the gentleman was in pain and I felt it for him. These guys have emotions, Sherwin, they have feelings. We want them to perform, but we must always remember that they are human beings. And that is why I always try to criticize performance and not the individual. So how much runs did your wicket keeper make today? Sean Gardner, how are you? Good afternoon. The problem is West Indies batters are too uncomfortable with fast bowling. But sure, when it was a spinner who got 5 wickets today, a right arm off spinner who got 5 wickets today. Thank you. Indeed, it is unacceptable, especially that we're 104 for 2. Absolutely unacceptable with Hodge and Zach and McCaskey looking very, very good. John Douglas, welcome to the show. Ed Line really falling over. Yes, indeed, John Douglas. Good afternoon, Athena, and welcome. Welcome. Really, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. Good day, sir. Good day, Jamor Small. Now, there are two other issues that I would like to talk about as far as West Indies cricket is concerned. And I am just giving my opinion here, especially on the first one. So the first one I want to look at is that of Kevlin Anderson. Now, we know that Jordan Johnson had replaced Kevlin Anderson in the West Indies A team that is in South Africa. Now, last week, Cricket West Indies made a press release, and in part, it goes like this. Unfortunately, Anderson experienced challenges with his visa documentation and was unable to travel to South Africa. That word visa is a problem for me. It's a challenge. On Sunday, I never knew that a Guyanese citizen now does not require, up to recently, as of recently, Guyanese citizens do not require a visa to travel to the UK. Generally, my understanding of the flight route to South Africa is that you travel via England. Guyanese citizens do not need a visa to go to England. Guyanese citizens do not need a visa to visit South Africa if they are staying fewer than 30 days in the country. So those are the two things. I am asking the question that if Kevlin Anderson, CWI, or those persons that Anderson has confidence in who are in his circle, if none of them never knew that no visa was required to go to the United Kingdom or to South Africa. So the question I'm asking, what visa? I never knew this until Sunday, that Guyanese citizens never need a visa to go to the UK. I never knew this until Sunday. So I'm wondering if that was also the case with Anderson, CWI, or his inner circle. Because it couldn't be a visa to travel to the USA. Because you do not need a visa to go to the USA to go to England. You could either go through Jamaica or through Trinidad and land directly in England. So it is very surprising to me, and I would be very interested to know what is the real reason behind this visa issue. How did it come to that Kevlin Anderson missed the South African tour because of a so-called documentation with his visa when he does not need a visa to go to either the UK or to South Africa? What was those documentation? Is it that persons never knew that this was the case? Now, I am happy. I am happy for Jordan Johnson. Definitely happy for Jordan Johnson. But what was the situation surrounding the visa by Kevlin Anderson not getting a visa? Athena is saying, going on any tour without an experienced batsman is looking for trouble. So that's what Athena is saying, that probably an experienced batsman. But I understand Athena, but because it's an A team, it's a developmental tour, and it could be that They wanted, my understanding, Athena, is that Bonner was originally selected to go on this tour, but he developed an issue with his back and could not have made it. So maybe he was the experienced batsman that they were looking at. John Ricketts is saying, you just never know how that wicket is, so just wait and see. You just never know how that wicket is, so just wait and see. I don't quite understand John Ricketts. Probably had to renew his passport or something. It did not say passport. And I thought about that, Anthony Evans, and why they never said passport. And in my process of thinking about it, if it was a passport issue and Cricket West Indies say visa, maybe they were trying to protect the young man by not saying that it was a passport. Because really and truly, as a person who is playing for your country and involved in West Indies cricket, and the possibility is there for you to travel, you must be on top of your passport situation. His parents, if he doesn't have any management or any agent, should have ensured that these things are taken care of. Because in the nitty-gritty and the trust and pull of international sports, you need someone else to look after your affair. You just cannot manage both. The example that I always use is that you are working a 9 to 5 and you are building a house. You need that money that you are working for the 9 to 5 to build the house. So you cannot really supervise the building of the house. So you need someone else to supervise the building of the house. It's the same way in the life of an international sportsman. He needs someone else to look after his affair if he's going to concentrate on the game. And I say, what is your view on Tevlin and Chanderpaul? Now, Tevlin Imlach need to score some runs. So too is Chanderpaul, and so too is Kirk McKenzie, especially Chanderpaul and Kirk McKenzie. A lot have been said about Tevlin Imlach for the past year and a half. But in my opinion, and from the performances that you have demonstrated, it is clear to me that Tevlin Imlach needs a lot of work on his batting, and he has not yet transferred to the higher level. He needs to score more runs. And McKenzie and Chanderpaul definitely need to score runs. I believe that both of them will be in the test squad to tour Australia, both McKenzie and Chanderpaul. But they definitely need to use the next 3 innings available to them in this series to score some runs. Now, the reason why McKenzie is in the test team, and I'm saying this to youngsters like Imlach, Kimani Melios, Kevlin Anderson, Kevin Whitcomb, all of those youngsters. There's one reason why Kirk McKenzie is in the test team, is that he scored a double 100. These little small scores that you guys are making, you need to start making bigger scores if you want to represent the West Indies. If you want to pick yourself, instead of someone liking you and picking you, start making double 100s. DJ, how are you? I think most Caribbean organizations suffer from inept leaders. I feel as if the stagnation of West Indies cricket comes down to the leadership. DJ Prezi. So Prezi, Cricket West Indies have a lot to answer to. They have a lot of blame. There are a number of things that are not going right at Cricket West Indies when it comes to administration and governance. But they have also done many things right. And while there are blames to be attached to Cricket West Indies, where does the responsibility of the players comes in? Where? You cannot ask Cricket West Indies to get up out of, to go to a man's house and knock on his door and ask him to get up to go and train. Cricket West Indies already provide the finance for you to train without have to go to work. So yes, there are blames attached, should be attached to Cricket West Indies, but there are blames too that should attach to the irresponsibility of the players. Darren Sammy himself said it, that the team that he has inherited is far from an elite fitness team to compete at the international level. The responsibility must be on the players to do certain things. Must be. Brian H. just got here, came here to say that Chanderpaul and Mackenzie are flopping. Yes, I would have said that just previously. Thank you for your point. To hear you saying just what I came to say. Well said, Brian H. Thank you. Everyone seems to have the answer until they are the ones making decision. It is extremely sad to see where we are today. And DJ Presley, all of us are hurting. I'm going to ask you though, DJ Presley, to give me 3 ideas of how you think that Cricket West Indies and the players, how do you think the product that is West Indies cricket can be improved, DJ Prezi? I really appreciate that. Where is in South Africa, Jay? The bowlers seem to be hunting the magic delivery instead of setting up or working out the batsmen. That is true, John Douglas, and I've mentioned that in previous broadcasts. And you remember the Guyanese leg spinner named Bishu, I think. Don't remember his first name right now, but it's Bishu Devranja. It's Bishu, his first name, the leg spinner. West Indies was playing a test match versus England. James Anderson was bowling to Bishu. And James Anderson bowled 13 consecutive outswinger to Bishu. He bowled so many outswinger to Bishu. But when the 14th delivery was the inducker, Bishu walked off even before the umpire raised his finger because he was outsmart. I said that to say this. We must learn to be patient as bowlers. Too often, as John Douglas is saying, we try to bowl the magic delivery. Thank you. Jake Blasco, how are you? It's funny that you say that about Sammy. I use the same gym that he used when he's in St. Lucia. I am saying that Sammy, okay, and I can say that he's still at gym even as he retired. You can tell that is his lifestyle. But okay, thank you for that comment, Jake Glasgow. But I was referring to the current West Indies players. Goodwin Curry, welcome. Good afternoon and welcome. Glad that you are here. We appreciate it. And Brian H., thank you for welcoming Goodwin Curry. Now, there's a next statement that I'm going to make. And this may cause some controversy, but I'm going to give my reason. I have 4 reasons why I said this, and I'm going to name them. Shamar Joseph, the Guyanese fast bowler, must be in the West Indies squad to tour Australia. Reason number 1 for saying this: the 8th over of his bowling spell yesterday morning, which was the 16th of the South African innings, he bowled the greatest over I have seen by a West Indies bowlers since the retirement of Walsh and Ambrose over 20 years ago, bar none and I make no apology. The second reason is the fittest West Indies fast bowler I have seen since Courtney Walsh. Yesterday, he bowled 10 overs on the trot. When last have you seen a West Indies fast bowler bowl 10 overs on the trot? Mark you, there was a break in play after he bowled 3 overs. But all in all, he bowled 10 overs on the trot. So after the first 20 overs that West Indies A bowled yesterday, he bowled 10 of those. He came back after those 10 overs, so he finished bowling at over number 20. And he also bowled over number 32. That tells you something about the fitness level of the young man. He is the fittest West Indies bowler I've seen since Courtney Walsh. Number 3, he bowls at 140 kilometer plus, and he can get better with the right training, the right approach, and the right people around him. He definitely can get better, and I expect him to get faster. Number 4, although Andre said that his run-up is similar to that of Michael Olding, I'm not going to compare the two, but there's similar circumstances to when Michael Olding was first selected for the West Indies team, as in Shamar Joseph. One, Michael Olding had to play a few games for Jamaica, just like Shamar Joseph a few games for Guyana. 2, Michael Olding was bowling very fast, above 140 kilometers. So too is Shamar Joseph. 3, they are going to tour. West Indies is going to tour Australia, just as back in 1975-76, when Olding was plucked out of the here and brought to Australia by Clive Lyall. Those are the 4 reasons why I believe that Shamar Joseph must be included in the West Indies A-team tour to tour Australia. There are 2 things that I want to say to Shamar Joseph. 2 things. Number 1, that 8 over that you bowled yesterday morning, the 16th of the innings, and you may go and watch it on YouTube if you doubt me. You need to study that over. Look where your head position was. Look where your foot position was. Look where your body position was. Your arm position. Study that over and try your best to repeat it over and over and over again until you cannot get it wrong. So that's my first recommendation to Shamar Joseph. My second recommendation to Shamar Joseph, in the recently concluded CPL, he was training in Guyana and he was told to stop training. My second recommendation is that do not let anyone stop you from working hard. Anyone who is trying to convince you not to work so hard, they have their own agenda and they do not want you to reach your peak. They do not want you to reach your maximum. They have their players who will become threatened by your performance if you continue to work hard. You are trying to learn to play cricket. It is like someone studying for their degree, or masters, or even CXC. And your neighbor is going to come and tell you, don't study so hard. Why? Because they want their children to improve ahead of you. Do not let anyone stop you from working so hard. Your fiancé have made a great sacrifice for you. Do not let her down. So my 2 recommendations to you. 1, study that over and repeat it as often as possible so you cannot get it right. Wrong. You cannot get it wrong. And two, do not let anyone stop you. Do not let anyone try to break your attitude, because your attitude is going to determine your altitude. Those are my recommendations to Shamar Joseph. I come to your comments now. Shamar, so Goodwin, let's see our Goodwin here now. Shamar is a gem. I hope he gets handled properly. And yes, he will get faster. Thank you. Ian saying that I can say that Joshua footwork has become heavy. He needs to get in line of the ball or leave it. Thank you. I see that too. I see that too. Athena is saying, any views on skipper Joshua captaincy? My views on his captaincy, I get the impression that Joshua Da Silva is very knowledgeable of the game. While he was in Bangladesh and making all those runs, you could have seen it come out because he was comfortable knowing that he's making runs, and as the leader, he's doing well. And as a captain, you need to lead from the front with the runs if you're a batsman. Now in South Africa, he's making a few questionable decisions, but I think Athena, those comes down to the fact that he's not making as many runs as he would like, and he's under pressure. So he's not as comfortable and relaxed as he should be or wants to be. But I think that he's very knowledgeable about the game. Christopher Bristol, he have the right people around him. He just have to focus and don't fall like the rest. Well, good Christopher Bristol, although I know that sometimes you just say things because you want to irritate me, but I hope that you are right this time, my good friend, because I welcome your irritations though. Shamar is a gem. Thank you, Goodwin. I hope he gets handled properly, and yes, he will get faster. Okay, thank you for that. And he said that he looks good on the eyes and needs a bit of fine-tuning. Akeem Jordan seems consistent. So again, that is John Douglas saying that Shamar looks good on the eye, and he has Akeem Jordan against him, ahead of him. Akeem Jordan look more consistent. Nothing is wrong with that. And remember that Akeem Jordan has a larger body of work than Shamar Joseph, because Shamar Joseph just take cricket seriously sometime last year, less than a year ago, at the insistence of his friends. As you would have heard the story that he was working as a security guard, and with the insistence of his friends, and with his fiancée deciding to take up the financial responsibility of the home, he stopped working as a security guard and went and trained to play cricket. So it appears from that he has a lot to catch up. But from what we are seeing, the almost raw talent, he is good, and I would have him in that team. Brian H. is saying, Shamar Joseph does have a good backstory. Yes, he does. He really does. CIE, welcome to the show. West Indies will get clean sweep in this series. I think CIE was in Mars or something. He was not on planet Earth. CIE, West Indies won the first match. How can they get clean sweep? CIE, welcome back to Earth. I hope your journey into space was a rewarding and beautiful one. Welcome back. Randy Beckers, they must work with him and make him more accurate. Accuracy with that pace will make him deadly. Randy Bickers, I think you need to go and watch Shamar Joseph bowling in this match. I am not saying that there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, because no matter how hard we try, we'll never be perfect. But Randy Beckers, I think you need to go and watch him bowling in this match so far, and then come back and tell us what you think about his accuracy. The champion, welcome to the show. Facts, thank you. I love this. I hope he sees it. The champion, okay, thank you, the champion. Thank you. That is why this community is so beautiful. Let me put on my glasses because I do not wish to get any of these suggestions wrong. Thank you, DJ Presley. We must improve our infrastructure, each territory, especially at the high school level. All right, what I want you to tell me about number one, DJ Presley. I want A, B, and C for number one. What are the infrastructures we are lacking? B, how does our present infrastructure compares to countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Ireland, the Netherlands? Who else beat us recently? Tell us how our infrastructure compare to those two countries, and tell us exactly, when you say we lack infrastructure, tell us exactly what we are lacking. Number two, I have no issue with number two. I do not have a follow-up for number two. It must be done. And whether we need to teach better curators, whether we need to get people from overseas to do that, thumbs up for number two. Number three, more must be done to capture the interest of young boys and young girls. Fine, I agree with number three also, but again, I have an A for number three. How do we go about doing that? How do we go about doing that? I love this, DJ Presley, but please follow up on 1 and 3 for me. Please follow up. Did Seals breakdown? You remember that when I was reviewing the match and talking about the victory, I did say that Seals at one time in his innings, he was clutching on his knee just before tea on the second day. He spent a long time in that West Indies innings. Just before tea on the closing day, the fourth day when we were chasing the 224 to win. And he was in that partnership with Sinclair. A good look at 8-wicket partnership was going on. There was a time just before tea that he spent about 5 to 8 minutes on the ground and the physio ad was to be there. And I did say that I hope it is not a reoccurrence of his knee injury. I do hope. Goodwin Curry. I was a fast bowler myself, and in my honest view, once your grouping is spot on, you will cause batsmen no ends of trouble. Well said, Goodwin, and that is what I have not seen from West Indian fast bowlers until I see Shamar Joseph bowling in this match. I have not seen our fast bowlers grouping them, and that is why I respect Shamar Joseph so much. That's why I rate him so highly. Anthony Evans is saying, there's a lot of chat about West Indies having limited talent pool. I don't think that is true. The board just doesn't know how to find and refine the talent for improvement. Okay, Anthony Evans. Anthony, playing more game with Associates Nation to develop a winning culture would be especially for confidence of the players. I do not have an issue playing more games with associate members, but I don't think the West Indies senior team should be playing games with associate members because these associate members are going to get better. What I think we should do is let our A team play more games with them. And in our regional tournament, if an associate team has the funding, like Qatar or the UAE, we could invite them to play in our regional tournament like the Super 50 and the 4-day. That is my view. Please remember that if you are sending money this Christmas season to your family and friends, wherever in the world, as long as you are doing so from the USA, please, there's a link in the video description. Click on that link and use it to do so. Goodwin Curry is saying, the facts remain Shamar is not And that's key to development. 101. Secondly, he's a good listener, and that's pivotal to his development. Thank you all. Education and sports. Athena is saying education and sport ministry should be under the same ministry. Again, I love these suggestions, and it's good. This community, that is what we're all about. We are not only here to criticize, but we are here to praise and to give our recommendations. There's a lot of bright persons in this community, and I appreciate when you give me your feedback like that. I agree. I really appreciate. The champion is saying, Desmond Haynes has said, one of the infrastructure that we lack is proper indoor facility where our players can practice at night. Good, Brian. Good, the champion. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And that is true. That would definitely improve our cricket. Brian H. is saying, associate members have been beating us. So much for it establishing a culture of winning for us. Lol. Brian H., thank you, sir. Our A team is our second team. Which academy player should be in South Africa? Now, it's okay. I'm okay with the both team, Ian. I'm okay with both team, the academy team and the A team. We just wish them success, and I hope that we can bowl out South Africa cheaply before lunch tomorrow, and probably have to chase about 300, and we can chase down that 300 and win. Michael Douglas, welcome to the show. I like the over where he set up the batsman by bowling 5 ball on a good length or back of a length, then 1 ball a bit fuller, and then the batsman drive at it, and it took an edge, but Sinclair dropped. Was it Sinclair who dropped it or Tevin Imlach? And as you're talking about drop, Tevin Imlach and Kavim Hodge dropped catches this morning off the bowling, in the second innings after bowling of Akeem Jordan. Michael Douglas, I think it was Tevin Imlach at second slip, but you said Sinclair. We could double check that. Have a great day, everyone, and see you tomorrow morning. Wishing West Indies success. Please remember, click on that Western Union link if you are sending money.